So you just, Stanley, let's have your comments. Let's get some feedback from you. What do you feel about, the game that we've just played, the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Like they say, victory is sweet. Any which way it comes. And we've gotten the scalp of Africa's most successful team, and that is very good. Let's get some results. Let's leave the Super Eagles for a couple of minutes. We'll come back to the Super Eagles. But let's get some results from some international friendlies, some of them currently going on as we speak. Let's see if we can get that across to you. Cosmos, a lot of these countries are using these opportunities, like you said, fine-tune their teams, try out strategies. You have Japan and Bolivia currently 1-0. South Korea and Colombia. South Korea leading as we speak. Cote d'Ivoire and Liberia is the Elephants currently ahead. And this one that you have on your screen has ended. Nigeria beating Egypt. And you also have some of the ones that will come right on your screen.
Some of those games, Senegal, Senegal, Mali 2-1. Currently live from Morocco, Argentina. This is a huge friendly, and it's goalless. As I said before we came into the studio, of course, Algeria, Tunisia, goalless as well, and Czech Republic, Brazil is goalless as well.
All right, so those are some of the friendlies. Trust us to update you on all of those friendlies. If anything has happened, and for those that have been concluded, we're hoping at some point we will be able to link up with our man, Austin Okon Akpan, to, let us know what is happening right there in Asaba. As soon as we can do that, we will let you know. Cosmos, let's get back to the Super Eagles. And, I just want to take you up on some of the things that you said. You talked about, you seem to be quite pleased with a lot of things.
Yeah.
But then again, you talked about some tinkering that needs to be done. You don't seem to be dissatisfied like some, especially before this game. So what are those areas you feel? You hinted probably creative in the midfield.
Yeah, creativeness in the midfield. Yeah, it's a good thing that Nigeria qualified for the African Cup of Nations 2019 with a game to spare without John Mikel Obi, who has been the creative force since 2005-06. Yeah, so it's a good thing that Nigeria did, but it has gotten to the point where he would no longer, he has not played, he didn't play any of the qualifier, but Nigeria was able to manage it, but creatively of not really gotten it, whether it is the style of the coach or the fact that the coach being a very pragmatic person is trying as much as possible to keep it tight.
In his defense, Cosmos, who's that player that fits the bill? Because a coach is as good as what he has.
Yeah.
So who's that player that fits the bill? Who's that player, we'll talk about creative, somebody who can wear the number 10 jersey, somebody who can do some of the things we're used to seeing some of our top players do. Who's that player that you can mention straight away?
Kelechi Nwakali. We saw it yesterday. We saw it yesterday when the Olympic Eagles played
against...
That's
the player you feel can do it on a big stage.
On a big stage. This guy did it against a world-class team, even if it's not a national team. I'm talking about Atletico Madrid. You understand that? So he's a player that, with much confidence, can be able to do this. I feel there are other players. For me, Alex Iwobi is more of a winger for me. He's a kind of person that, from the wings, can be able to cause damage. As far as I'm concerned, not particularly in the creative midfield role, not particularly. Although he plays somewhat like that sometimes for Arsenal, but if you check, he is more prolific from the wings, better suited from the wings, or directly at the back of the striker. It depends on the kind of formation you're playing anyway.
And the personnel
you have. So I feel that Alex Iwobi, yes, in as much as a creative person, doesn't have the endurance, I think that's the word, the endurance to be able to sustain that creativeness, especially when the chips are down. You look at the likes of JJ Okocha, you look like the likes of Zinedine Zidane. These are players that, even when the chips are down, the creativeness comes in, and they just get the result out of anywhere. And that's something we're talking about. Wilson Oruma, JJ Okocha, you talk about lots of them as well. So for me, I feel that Kelechi Nwakali fits the bill for now. With much support.
Okay.
He can be able to do something about it.
Okay. All right. We're trying to do Kenneth's raw job for him. So we'll see how good we are with that. Let's go on a break now. When we return from that break, there's still a lot to talk about on the Super Eagles. And, of course, we'll talk about some other sports on the show tonight. Let's go on that break. Join us again.
Get your swag on.
All right, welcome back. Let's just continue from where we left it off. Cosmos, still talking about the Super Eagles. Let's talk about the goalkeeping department.
All right.
A lot of people have said a lot of things about our goalkeepers. A lot of people are not convinced.
Yeah.
Let me include myself. But you saw two goalkeepers today.
Yeah.
Keepers that we've known, we're used to over the years before the meteoric rise of Francis Uzor. As we approach the Nations Cup, does that department give you confidence?
Not yet.
The keepers that we have?
Not yet. Not yet. But from today's game, I mean, looking at today's game, I'll say that the two goalkeepers, because we know Francis Uzor is not going to play, but we know that the two goalkeepers that played today, give lots of confidence. I mean, in the first half, Daniel Akpeyi, that confidence was there. I like the way he was able to distribute passes with his defenders. Sometimes the build-up play starts from him before they go. It was
That's
good.
modern football.
That's modern football. That confidence is there, and it shows me that okay. And the truth is that out of the three goalkeepers, is probably the one in form because he's the number one right now for Kaizer Chiefs and plays week in, week out for Kaizer Chiefs. So first half, it was actually very good. Actually, the confidence was there. But in the second half, when the Egyptian came with their onslaught, they had to bring in Ezenwa. And Ezenwa made some nice saves, some very, very nice saves, especially, I wish our producer can show it again, especially a screamer from outside the box, where he had to save. He had to make a double save in that one. Made some saves as well for Nigeria. So I felt that the two goalkeepers, gave a good account of themselves. Going into the African Cup of Nations, if you ask me, does that department give me a bit of confidence? I would say not yet, because this is just a game. And looking at the on Friday game against Seychelles, when Uzor made that blunder, for me that's the only blunder he has made as Super Eagles goalkeeper. But that confidence, that confidence is not there. People are talking about the fact that there are better goalkeepers in the league, especially we're hearing some goalkeepers in the diaspora that would have been better. Lots of names have been coming in: Theophilus Afalokai, Femi Thomas. You understand? These are these are people that, yes, they have had the opportunity as well, and lots of people still want to see them in the team. But for the three goalkeepers, they have to prove Nigeria wrong. So I felt the two goalkeepers today gave a good account of themselves. Going forward, we could say that if they can improve, that it's going to be a very competitive department.
All right.
But still, Nigerians out there, especially pundits like us, still feel that there's still some things that they need to do concerning the team.
Okay, the coach made some surprising changes, especially with the wing backs. I don't know, but let's talk about the wing backs before we leave the Super Eagles.
Okay.
We're not really spoiled for choices. We have a couple of players good, but you begin to wonder if anything happens to maybe our first choice for right back and left back, maybe there will be trouble.
Well, right now the team under Genotro has had good wingers. I mean, I can't wait for the return of Tyron Ebuehi. Tyron Ebuehi was fantastic for the Super Eagles. Anytime he plays for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, very, very fantastic, very sweet, and actually very good with the ball, knows how to cross, knows how to defend. Hopefully he can come back from that. terrific injury he had, especially after the World Cup with Benfica. But you have the likes of Jamilu Collins that has taken over
the left back position.
The left back position. Jamilu Collins have been fantastic in all of the games he has played for the Super Eagles of Nigeria so far. Of course, there is also Shehu Abdullahi, and I've forgotten the name of the other guy that plays in England. I've forgotten his name, but Semi Ajayi as well for the right back. So they're also down. Then there's Ikwerem Utin of Eyimba, who
a lot of people have called for his inclusion.
Of course, and of course he came in today for a few seconds before the referee blew the final whistle. They've called
should have gotten more time.
We felt we should have gotten more time in that one. What I do not understand was an Idefreke of Aqua United coming in for Shehu and playing in the right back position. That, although even if it was after the 90 minutes into added time, that's what I didn't understand. But he's a manager and he knows what is doing in that aspect. That's why he's paid to do what. And maybe he wants to make some of those players to be flexible enough to play and versatile to play in any position. So for me, I feel that we're not spoiled for choices with this team that has qualified for the African Cup of Nations. But when you look at it holistically, I feel there are players that can be able to fit in.
All right. It's very hard on a day like this to leave the matter of the Super Eagles, but there are other things to talk about. So let's just move on. Let's move on with it as we go on the show. All right. Let's quickly talk about the women. Let's talk about the FIFA Women's World Cup. It's 73 days to go, and that's it on your screen. We'll continue the countdown here. Of course, our own Super Falcons, the most successful national team in Nigeria, the most successful female national team in Africa, will be involved in this one in France. And it takes us to the next matter, knowing it's 73 days to go. The NFF have been talking about their plans for the Super Falcons. They've outlined some of the things that the Super Falcons will be involved in. One pre-tournament here and there, a couple of friendly matches, and it looks good. It looks good. By Nigerian standards, this is the best preparation. By Nigerian standards, I say that with emphasis. By Nigerian standards, it could be better, but by Nigerian standards, I think this is the best. Hopefully next time will be better. But Cosmos, let's talk about the Super Falcons and some of the things, heartwarming things that the NFF plan to do for the Super Falcons.
The truth is that the NFF have been fantastic with the preparation. Kudos must go to the Nigeria Football Federation. Yeah, when they do wrong, of course, we hit them. Yeah. But this time around, kudos must go to them because they have played how many matches now? They have played close to about 7 matches in preparation for the for the World Cup later in the year, and they're still going to play more. Of course, in the first week of April, they will participate in an invitational tournament in Spain, and of course later on they're going to be participating in Abidjan for the WAFU Cup. Then of course they'll be training, having their final preparation camping exercise at the Australian resort that the same Super Eagles were last year towards the World Cup.
All right. Okay, let's look up with our man, Austin Okonakpan. It's good after the day's work that he's able to link up with us. Austin, it's good to have you. I can't imagine what you might have gone through today from the press briefing and all the other things that you've had to attend to. But let's get your thoughts quickly on what happened today in Asaba, the game between Nigeria and Egypt.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be on the show. Well, let me attribute Coach Gernot Raw. At the press conference, I asked him, was it a good match? And if it wasn't, in what ways can it be better? And he says it was a great match. That's it. It's good for the preparation of the AFCON, and it's good for putting together this team. Beautiful goal by Paul Onuachu. Alian Mahmoud, that's Egyptian defender, even had to bow down and worship before Onuachu scored that goal. It was good. That kind of moment when you just get to class and your teacher says, we're going to have a test today. The Egyptians, they were just trying to get into the match, you know. And then Onachu brought up that stunner of a goal. It's good. It's good because we've been talking about Paul Onachu and we needed him to do something to prove a point. That goal is a testament of what it means to take a chance. Alex Iwobi also had chances in that match, didn't take them. But in all, Coach Gennaro says it was a good game for his team. They will go back, watch it, but at the moment, they just want to, enjoy this victory against Egypt and take it from there.
All right, Austin, talk to us. We saw the pictures. There are things going on around the stadium that we didn't get to see. The fans, the mood after the game, were they pleased with the outcome? What can you feel? Talking about the pulse, feeling the pulse of the people. Were they pleased with the outcome, or they feel it could have been better?
No, the fans were excited, and it was a packed stadium. A shout out to the football fans in Asaba. When you get into the stadium and you're trying to locate your seat and you hear goal, we're in for a good time. So that was what that Paul Onachu goal did to the atmosphere at the stadium. Everyone started looking forward to it, and I think the Super Eagles did put up a good display. Some flash of brilliance here and there. Adio did well. Shout out to Leon Balogun, stepped in at some point when Trustekong would have lost the ball or was in front. The midfield was compact. You saw the way Ndidi was like a boss all through the match. John Ogu showed us he's got some commanding presence also. Look, in all, we can look at this team and say Coach Gennaro can believe. Maybe at some point they should stop saying they are young and saying they're beginning to mature. So the fans were excited. And with football fans in Nigeria, there is no friendly match. So you could just hear by your side, no mistake, kick it out. But they were cheering the team from beginning to the end. And with that wonder goal that was scored barely 8 seconds into the match, they will go back home, think about it, and smile.
All right, Austin. Did Coach Gennaro give us any hints as to his plans? It's a few months to the start of the African Cup of Nations. So did the coach hint us in any way or reveal what could be his plans? Maybe a couple of players to be invited. What will be done? Because it's likely not going to get any other chance before a few weeks to the tournament. So did he drop any hints? Did he reveal anything?
Yes, it did. It says the